So this is your how to be ready to die. I'm Zach. This is the Average Christian, a project simply about what it means to live the everyday relationship with God in practical terms. In 2 Timothy chapter 4, there is a mention, but you've got to get the backstory. You've got to understand that this guy, Paul, is writing from prison, not jail, but Roman prison. And this is the last letter that we know of that he wrote. It's the last letter, certainly in the Bible. And he's writing to Timothy, as he would call him, his beloved son in the faith. And he has a lot that he wants to share with him. And it just looks like when you read this letter, it looks like it's just one thing after the other. Now, understand that this man is in jail, not guilty of a crime, but guilty of being a Christian. That's it. He's been in jail already. He's been on house arrest. Now he's back in prison. The first time he wasn't too sure. You can read in Philippians 1 where he was kind of back and forth. This time he knows he's going to die. Now, if you're in jail and you're innocent and you know that it's coming somewhere around the corner, I don't know if he had much of an idea of when, but you know your death is coming. What do you write about? Like what goes in that letter? Probably your innocence, how this is wrong, and you need somebody. I need an attorney or a new attorney. I need some appeals. I need this, that, and the other. I want everybody to know what they're doing to me. I'm scared to death. What would you be saying about your own death when you know you're not going to make it out of prison? And it's going to be fairly soon. I would be talking about the fear of death. Paul writes this whole letter, and he only mentions his impending death once. And it's here in 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6. And what you'll notice is it's a by the way. So when you read this, this is how to be ready to die. You and I have no clue, and people will argue about whether or not it's a blessing or a curse to have a clue as to when there are people who get diagnoses and so forth. And I don't know. I know that it could happen. Jesus could come back. I could die any day. How to be ready to die. In chapter 4 and verse 6, for I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure has come. Now notice the wording. He didn't say death. He didn't say I got to go. He didn't say my end. He said my departure. I am leaving here. He knows there's something else, and he's going to display that in a few moments. But notice this, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now, I've done another video a while back on how to know you're going to heaven, basically. You can look that up in the history and see there. And I think I deal with this passage here. But he knows a couple of things. Number one, that he is saved, that he is with God, that he's been practicing righteousness, that he has, and still to that day was making mistakes, I'm sure, but living for God. He could look at his life on the whole and say, I am living for God. This is my way of life, mistakes included. That's other topics for another time. But he says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now, by the way, he isn't quitting. He hasn't quit. He's still writing this letter. He's telling Timothy, look, I need you to be this, this, and this. I need you to not be ashamed of the gospel. I need you to use your spiritual gifts. I need you to be a leader. I need you to be this kind of minister and an evangelist and on and on and on. One of those reasons is because I'm going to die, Paul's saying. Now I've finished. I've done the work. I've been with the Lord. Here's what he knows is coming. Henceforth, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing. I'll get to that last part in just a minute. There's hope there. Real Bible hope. If you haven't listened to any of the other videos where I've talked about hope already, it is not wishful thinking. It is desire coupled with expectation. He expects this to happen. He's ready to die. I'm sure there is a fear of how it's going to happen. Is it going to be painful? All of these things. But he has a hope. He is going to heaven. God is going to give him that crown of righteousness, and not just to him because he's been so great and wonderful, not because he's earned it, for anybody who might be confused about that. Not just for him, though, but to all those who love his appearing. And so really that's your last question in this lesson, in this video, of how to be ready to die. Do you love the thought of Jesus coming back? Love his appearing? Do you think at any point in any day in your week, maybe today is the day Jesus is coming back? That's how you know you're ready for the end. How do you be ready to die? You be faithful. And no matter what comes, it doesn't matter because we are going on to something far better. Hey, look, thank you for being here and watching this video with us. We want to thank our subscribers, our listeners that are sharing this content on Facebook or making comments, who are giving us ideas. We want you, if you haven't already, to subscribe, whether you're on podcast or YouTube, subscribe, rate and review if you're on podcast, leave a comment, like, share this with other people, and hit that notification bell on YouTube so you get to keep up with future content. And we look forward to seeing you again.